right now. Uh,
Liking the dizzy right now.
it's being published for some reason. Come on. There we go. We're live now. Wonderful. All right. I'll just get this going on this. Make sure everything's going good with the audio because the audio likes to be right now. Yeah. Okay. Audio. I'm a little loud. All right. There we go. Hans, how you doing, buddy?
Liking the dizzy.
What does that mean? Liking the dizzy? I never heard of that.
Not liking the dizzy. Spinning around my chair bored, and I'm now dizzy as hell.
I've done that before, and it's not fun, especially because I get motion sick really, really easily. So it's like even if I go on like a boat over a lake or something, I have to take like something for that because like motion sickness is something that runs in my family. So it's
Only I'm
that.
more durable to motion sickness. After all, I'm trained to be a pilot.
Well, yeah, if you're training to be a pilot, you would need to definitely, not get motion sick every time because, throwing up while you're trying to pilot a plane, I would assume would be quite difficult.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've spent for 2 minutes straight, like I just did. And then I started feeling.
What's up, by the way? What's up, everybody?
So it took you 2 minutes to get dizzy? That's impressive. That's actually pretty impressive. So yeah, we got one person. Lynn, how's it going?
Yeah,
So
go here.
yeah. So
How's my? Oh, go on.
something odd happened to my channel, and I'm not used to this. Since the last podcast, we gained 4 subscribers. How? How have I gained subscribers? I've done nothing but this podcast and like one other stream. I haven't put out a solid video in a month and a half at least. So I don't understand it, but that's just the way it is sometimes. But yeah, yep. So we got Hans on today. Johnny, of course, is as well. He's part of this, so I would assume he'd be on here. And yeah, we got some articles, and we're just gonna, enjoy the evening. So hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day. I know it's late for you in your neck of the woods, Hans, but over here it's just beautiful. Kingslayer, how's it going? Got people are starting to come in. Yeah.
Subscribe to all the channels.
Yeah, subscribe to both our channels. Hans, as far as I'm aware, does not have a YouTube channel. At least does not do anything with his, which is fine. There's nothing bad about that. Let's see. But yeah. So the world is going to hell in a handbasket right now. Everyone seems to be hating on everyone. There is a whole lot of division, and celebrations. I'm just seeing this from the Premier League or whatever. I think it's the English Soccer League, and yes, I did say soccer because that is the correct. That's how you say it. It's not football. We have football over here. Yeah, the Europeans have soccer. We have football. All right, football is what that's a man's game. Soccer is what children play. If you have an issue with that, you can comment that in the comment section. I know everyone that's not from America is going to get absolutely mad at me, but then again, I don't care. So yeah. But apparently Anfield and Liverpool and 30-year drought titles. Apparently these terrible teams won something, so good for them. That's I don't follow European soccer or soccer in general, so I'm too busy watching basketball and football and baseball and men's sports basically. But yeah. Oh my God. Okay, Joe Biden had a minor stroke again. I'm just browsing Twitter here. Joe Biden just said that DC should be a state. No. The District of Columbia is not, it will never be a state. There's no reason for it.
It is already a state?
Okay, so the District of Columbia is its own unique thing. It's not, it pays taxes. It also, it does, that's like the area where the capital is. Like where Congress is and the judicial branch and the executive branch, all those guys, they're all in the District of Columbia. That's the capital area, basically. And it's got a very high population it's a city, basically. it's not very big. It's like it's right between Virginia and Maryland, and it's not big. Like it's it's a little bigger, a little smaller than Rhode Island, and that's like really small. I'm gonna look it up here. How big is the District of Columbia? I'm gonna look this up right here.
Obviously not big enough to be its own state, but then again, you have places like Rhode Island, I guess.
Well, Rhode Island is like that's a whole different thing. It's 68 miles, basically. It's 68 square miles, which that's not that big. Like, I
What's up,
mean,
Kenny?
the city of New York itself is 400 miles. Wait, that can't be right. I think that's New York State. Oh, New York City. Yeah, New York. Yeah, the city of New York is 400 miles squared, almost 450. Actually, it is 468 miles squared. That's the size of New York City. So, the District of Columbia is like 400 miles smaller than New York City. So, I mean, it's a small area basically.
For sure.
But it's hold on, I gotta
Those have good
I'll send a
architecture.
picture of it. Like this is if you look at it, like it's surrounded by it's right on a river. It's on what river is that? That's the
Potomac River, even I know that.
wow. I guess I'm getting showed up by a German guy. Great. Yeah, I don't know. I don't live around there, so I don't really care. But it's its own little area. It's got the Capitol. It's got some monuments. But it already has its own electoral votes. It gets 3 electoral votes, and it's just I don't think it should be a state. Like there's no reason for it. Like it just doesn't. Why? It's like there are bigger issues in this country. We literally have race riots right now. Should we really be worrying about whether DC should be a state or not? Come on, Joe Biden. I know you're having a stroke, but like, so do I, but I get on with my life.
Yeah, he's not using his brain.
Well,
The establishment's gonna avoid talking about the riots.
oh, of
Bring up
course he is.
anything.
He's not, Joe Biden's not going to talk about the riots. He's busy. Like, Joe Biden running for president is what I would consider it elder abused. Abused. Like, it's a man of that age, of that mental capacity should not be running for the most powerful position in the world.
No,
But
he
for the fact that
doesn't
the
deserve to be there.
establishment,
What was that, Hans?
for the fact that he was an establishment puppet and I were German, I would vote for him just to see what would happen if the most powerful empire on earth were run by a senile old man.
Basically, I mean, like, yeah, he is a party puppet. Like, he's not his own guy. Trump, as ludicrous as he can be, as crazy as he can be, as stupid as he can be, at least he's not a party puppet. At least he's not a puppet to the establishment side of the Republican Party. He he's he's his own guy. He's his own dude, and that's why he got voted in the first place. But I mean, sure he says dumb things, but he's his own dude. He's not bought off by anyone. That's the thing, and
Exactly.
that's what a lot of people forget. I mean, that's one of the reasons people like him. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need that in that. We need that in our country. We
Oh
need
my
that.
god. All right. Another
We need
piece of
that.
unplanned news. An old band, maybe you've heard of them, they're called the Dixie Chicks. It's an old band from it's an older band. They've changed their name to the Chicks because Dixie that refers to the South. Like the
Stupid.
yeah, like this is not going to solve racism. Changing your name of a band is not going to stop racism. You absolute idiots. This is virtue signaling of the highest level, and that's I mean, come on. This is not going to solve anything. This is just mind-numbingly stupid. Why?
Right.
Especially from the German equivalent to the American South.
Every country's got that part that they don't like. Like we have the South and California. What does Germany have?
Well, I'm from Bavaria. We're considered the American South equivalent. Everyone's either an upper class aristocrat like myself, or a working class person working for the aristocrats. Either way, we all love each other.
You know what? At least you guys like each other, because the South, everyone hates each other. Like, I guarantee if
Everyone
you,
hates Bavaria.
I mean, I would assume that some parts of Germany don't like Bavaria a lot, but I don't know if I don't know how it works over there. I mean,
Even during the German Empire days, we had our own monarchy. That's how independent we were.
yeah. I've actually heard something. I don't know if you know this, but I have heard that the Bavarian monarchy has ties to, I believe it was the last line of Roman emperors. Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't done much research on Bavarian monarchy.
Okay, I heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not, but I would like to know if that's true or not. Because that'd be really interesting, honestly.
The Volvo we were taken over by the Bavarian SSR.
Ugh.
But Freikorps fought a whole war over that.
Yeah, that's communist.
See,
Ugh. Yeah, I don't.
Seattle was bad. You should have seen Bavaria back in 1919.
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff was going on in Germany as a whole in 1919. It was not pretty, but it led to a whole lot of bad shit. But we're not going to go into this in this podcast. But the first scheduled article for the night: a man in the Chaz, which is the Chapel Hill Autonomous Zone, now wants to sue the police for not responding fast enough to the autonomous zone, where they have barricades barring from the police for entering. So this idiot is suing the police because they weren't able to get to him in time. But he's complaining, but he was in an area, and I'm assuming part of the area that literally doesn't want the police there.
That's dumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've hit left-wing lunacy that I don't think should be possible. Like, I try to stay neutral on my channel. I have my own political beliefs, but I try to stay as independent and run-of-the-mill center as possible. But when I see this kind of absolute stupidity, we're talking like this is levels of stupidity that should not even be possible in the world. Like,
Underestimate humans.
I, I honestly, I probably do. But this is like going out on a frozen lake that isn't stable, and then falling in and then asking the Coast Guard to come and get you. Which, if you don't know, if in Michigan, ice fishing is a big thing in the winter, and a lot of people do that. They take their
I saw it
snowmobiles, their literal how heavy is a snowmobile? Like at least half a ton. They take those out onto the ice, and sometimes the ice is quite thin, depending on how cold the winter is. It can be like barely even enough to support just a normal person. And they take them out onto the ice, and they oftentimes lose their snowmobile or just drown. Because we hear this every year. There's always someone that drowns some year because they went out ice fishing on ice that was too thin. This happens every year, and people still don't learn. I mean, like, if you're gonna go out onto there's a certain level where it's thick enough. I don't know. I'm not an ice fisher, but I'm sure that there's people that know. Like, there's warnings that are set up when the ice is too thin. So, hey, don't go ice fishing today. The ice is not thick enough. All right, then go watch some YouTube or something. Go watch my channel some more or something. I don't know, but but once the ice is thick enough, then go right ahead. But if it's too thin, what are you doing? That's stupid.
I know all about that. We used to have a lake that froze over right by our old house.
Oh, really? Do you ever go ice
but
fishing on it?
Oh,
Oh, all right. Well, still having a frozen lake, that does sound fun, though.
still sound fun until you fall into it.
Yeah, that's fair. You gotta watch out for that ice, for how thick the ice is, though.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I'm flexible and light, unlike Renata.
I'm not gonna comment on that because she might be in here. She might be in. I don't know if she's in in the chat. I don't know, probably busy, but
She's away with her cousins right now, sleeping probably.
yeah, I mean it is like what 2 in the morning over there, 3 in the morning. So it's probably pretty late.
3.
It's okay, so it's like 3 in the morning. Kenny, how's it going?
I'm probably wore her out.
Yeah, honestly, with your cousins, that does really happen often. Next story of the evening: Rhode Island moves to change its official name over slavery ties. As far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, but if geography serves me right, Rhode Island is in the north, as in the part of the country that was one of the first to abolish slavery. Like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, that's correct. So
That's
how exactly is Rhode Island? When was the last time Rhode Island was pro-slavery? They've always been of a fairly left-leaning state, even in the times of the Civil War and around that time. They've always been left-leaning, at
right.
least for their time. But
It's a few. I
what?
got connected.
People are going.
This is ridiculous. The governor's order
Hello.
will shorten state's full name from the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Oh, I didn't know that actually. That was a full name, and Providence Plantations.
Okay, anyone else is gonna know that without looking it up?
Dude, I didn't even know that. Like I've lived in this country my whole life, and I didn't know that. Because no one, unless you live in Rhode Island, unless you're one of the 25 people and 3 dogs that lives in the state of Rhode Island, no one knows that. I didn't know that. I guarantee you, most of the people watching this right now didn't know that. So,
Right.
I mean, isn't that that's part of your history? Back in the day, there were plantations. I didn't know there were plantations in Rhode Island. I didn't know they were that far north. But I mean, why would you change your name? Like this is a whole fad thing. Like trying to get rid of your supposed racism. And we just saw this with like 3 other articles, like with the Dixie Chicks changing the name. Anything Southern or olden that was around during the times of slavery is now like being erased. And first of all, many of these things aren't racist. And changing a name of something is not going to stop racism.
Right.
Changing if I were to change my name, go down to the courthouse tomorrow and change my name to from Aaron to racism is bad. That will not stop racism. You can only stop racism through talking to the people who are genuinely racist. Because if you just demean them, if you just slander them at all turns, and just won't even talk to them at all, that's not going to get them to not be racist. That's not going to change anything in their minds. In fact, that's just going to push them further to the more racist people, and that's not good.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if Joseph Stalin changed his I like Hitler, Hitler would have changed his mind about invading the USSR.
Oh no, Hitler was always going to invade the USSR. It was just a matter of time. He didn't. As much as I don't like communism, he hated them more, which is something.
That
Yeah.
I keep on cutting out. There's a pesky fly, and every time I drop my computer trying to kill it, it cuts my audio.
We need to get is one of those salt guns. Like they shoot like little salt rocks, and it like shoots at flies. It's really fun. I'll show you a picture of it later, but I've got one of them and I love it. But okay, Rhode Island's governor Gianna Raimondo. I don't know
Some
how to
American
pronounce it.
names there.
Yeah, I'm not good with names. Signed
Got
an
a funny
executive
name.
order announcing that the state will move forward with changing its official name due to its ties to American slavery. Yeah, the ties to American slavery while your state fought against the Confederacy, while your state sent its men to go and fight the people who were literally trying to end slavery. Are you that stupid? You
Apparently.
Oh my god. The state's official name, the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, appears on state documents. So it's basically only written. No one is actually calling it by the full name of the state. Like anyone that does that's going to get a weird look. But the order would shorten its name to just Rhode Island. That that's unnecessary and just why? Like, what's the point of it? I don't see it. Quote,
Right.
the pain that it is so yeah, the pain of all the people. Yeah, people are definitely feeling physical and emotional pain by seeing that on their birth certificate. Okay. The pain that this associates cause uh causes to some of our residents should be of concern to all Rhode Islanders, that we should do everything in our power to ensure that all communities can take pride in our state, the governor wrote. That was a
I
giant
already.
word salad I just read. Now, I don't know the demographics of Rhode Island, but I would assume that it is a majority white state, as many New England states tend to be. And that doesn't make it racist. That just means it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It just is. Like, it's like saying that my computer's working. It is. It's just the way it is. It just, sure, it could be changed, but I mean, it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just is. I mean, I don't see why people have an issue with that. I mean, no one's complaining about the demographics of the South or California. I mean, some people are, but they tend to be on the far right and far left, usually on the far extremes. But the average person in Overton's window around America doesn't have an issue with it, but apparently these people don't. Uh, Ramondino. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name because I'm just gonna butcher it. But the governor of Rhode Island, a Democrat, added that the new name will take effect as soon as practicable. Okay, I don't know what that means, and apply to all state government communications, including agency websites and correspondence. So basically, what you did is you just got more work for the intern you don't pay to rework your website. You, all this is doing is giving your interns more work. Like this, this isn't stopping racism. This isn't. This isn't gonna stop anything. This
I
is
know how slavery feels, Whitey.
apparently I don't because as we all know, no white people were ever slaves. It's not like the Romans had white slaves. Doesn't not like many Muslim empires had white slaves. Doesn't mean that the many of the Spartans or the Greeks or any Greeks really had slaves. Doesn't matter that many empires as well as some of the Vikings had slaves. No, the white slavery never happened at all. It's never happened in human history. Obviously, we were always the masters and never the ones being oppressed, obviously, as we all know our history around here. But yeah, apparently the governor of Rhode Island is just virtue signaling again. But
Right.
yeah, this is the world we live in. Welcome to hell world. Okay,
Say
this
it's
is
funny how long it took for the South to get paradise, but then Germany took the D as well.
what was that? You cut out a little bit there.
And again, it did take a while to denazify over here in Germany as well.
Well, I mean, that makes sense though, because that was an ideology that was. I mean, it took root very, very quickly, but it was kind of a new thing. So I would assume it definitely took a while. But I think
Yeah.
around now, like outside of like, I know that the former Soviet part of Germany has more Nazi sympathizers than over here in Western Germany or in Western Germany.
Um,
But
surprise, the Wehrmacht Ausstellung came. It was a big exhibition, basically showing all the war crimes of the Wehrmacht, the German army, and such.
yeah.
And there was lots of controversy. A lot of Germans were not happy that their grandfathers were being called war criminals. A lot of elders were protesting it, and the German nationalist groups called it lies.
Yeah, that's okay. I can understand like showing history and showing what happened and showing, history should never be censored, is my opinion on that. But people saying that people that we have proof did awful things and, showing what they did, how they did, and the history of it, people saying that that's just a lie. I've always thought that if you're going to say something outrageous like that, then you better have some damn good evidence. Like, you better have some
Right.
real good evidence to back your case up.
Right.
All
No,
of these mass protests
sure.
in 2003, by the way.
Sure, for sure.
They were in 2000 what now?
2003.
Okay, so that was wow, that was 17 years ago. So I mean that's still fairly recent though. That's still in the common knowledge of people that are living today. It's not like this was happening in like I mean it would never happen under the Soviet occupation, but I mean nowadays it's I would assume it's more common, but I
Let me
still
explain the with education system worked out.
yeah, it's like I would assume it's I mean as people are as people, actually learn about it, most of the time people realize, yeah, that was pretty messed up. Let's not do that again. And realize, like every country's done awful things. I'm not trying to justify anything here, but every country has awful things. The best thing to do is realize, yeah, that was pretty messed up. Let's learn from this and not do it again. Because, I mean, whether you go, every major country's done awful things. The Soviets had the gulags. China is still doing awful things to this day. Turkey didn't end slavery until 1986, and even more recently than that, has been genociding and removing ethnic minorities within their borders. And this is still up to the recent and even the pretty modern times. And America basically wiped out an entire race of people. We basically exterminated the Native Americans, which that was
Messed up.
what Hitler loved about America, and he wanted to do that to the Slavs. But that would have yeah, that wasn't very good. But so every country's done awful things, no matter where you go. It may be a little harder to find it in smaller countries, but every country has done awful things. The best thing to do it now is not censor it, not cover it up, but face it head on and realize that was pretty awful. Let's not do that again. Let's show people what happened and move on, but also not forget.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that
'Cause
if
we
anyone's
don't
got
want
a
to.
better idea, I'd love to hear it.
Well, we don't want to repeat the same mistake.
Of course not. That's why we have to learn it, figure out what happened, examine it, and realize that was pretty messed up. Let's not do it again.
Right, and not be cowards and try to forget it ever happened.
Exactly. Because if you forget of something, history has this nasty tendency to repeat itself. We've seen it before, we will see it again. But fortunately now in the modern day of the internet, I can go and literally find any historical event, any anything I want. I can go and research. I can go and learn stuff right now that people 100 years ago would have to go digging for years to find. And really, there are achievements that have happened even in the last few years. Like back in 2010, the cell phone was just a new thing. Like we barely had that technology. Like nowadays,
Exactly.
the phone in my hand right now is more powerful than the than the what was it the rocket than the controls for the when the U.S. launched the rocket into space. Like my phone, the computer in my phone is more powerful than the computer for the launching the rockets to the moon. It's incredible how far we've come in the last few decades, and really even the last few years.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
Okay, we got let's see, we got another one. Thursday at 7 p.m. So that was 3 hours ago, assuming this is on the East Coast. Quote, "We're taking that mother effer down." A protest set a date and a time to attempt to tear down a memorial. I'm gonna let you guys take a guess. Who do you think? It's an angry group of protesters. Who do you think they're tearing down? Confederate general, slave owner, a guy that hated minorities. No, it's
One who
not.
was against slavery, obviously.
Yeah, you would think that they'd be tearing down a person that was genuinely racist and genuinely hated, people of color. No. They're tearing down a memorial of Abraham Lincoln standing over a free slave. Like, as of like he's liberating him. Literally a statue of Abraham Lincoln removing the chains from a slave. How? I ask of you right now, gentlemen, how is that racist?
Obviously, it has a former slave in a submissive position to a white man.
That's
Or
the thing. It's because you're absolutely right. It is. Like, I'll link you guys I think Hans, did you drop that in my Discord? I think you might have actually. Let's see if I can.
the story. Nice
I'll-
grammar down there.
Yeah, the grammar is.
Grammar's very big over here in Europe.
Yeah, over here it depends on region. Sometimes the grammar can be it can really mean a lot, and for some people it's hard to understand them if they
My
have just.
father say. My father say if you didn't have good grammar by the age of 10, you were immediately thrown out like the helots.
Yeah, that's fair, honestly. But pretty much they set a date and a time to tear down the
Yeah,
Lincoln
I did
Memorial.
post it.
Yeah, I also retweeted on Twitter. So pretty much, uh, and there's a crowd around this guy saying he's going to tear it down. It's a crowd of I'd say about 100, 150 people. So it's a decent sized crowd. And honestly, if we are tearing down statues of slaves being liberated by one of the great liberators of our country, quite possibly one of the greatest men to ever lead this great nation, then we are truly doomed. I'm getting, like, I've said this before, I don't know if I said this on a podcast, but I am getting serious Rome 3rd century vibes from the US right now. If you don't know your Roman history, Rome in the 3rd century was basically in civil wars every year. Like, there was always some sort of civil conflict going on, like, all the time. It was terrible for Rome, but that's history for you.
As the German, I think about the Weimar Republic when I think about the US.
Yeah, like this is also giving off Weimar Republic vibes because and either it's gonna I think it'll probably go if America is to collapse. I don't know if it would go down extreme far right. I could see it going far right, but not as far as Germany did. Mostly because I don't think authoritarianism will ever rise up in the nation due to one small fact about this country. Everyone's got guns. Literally, like just about everyone in this country. I know it's a stereotype that Americans love cheeseburgers and have guns. That's actually quite true. Like that's just not a stereotype. We love cheeseburgers and we love our guns. We do. Like I had two cheeseburgers yesterday. They were delicious. But this is true. America, I don't think I guarantee you the majority of the country would not give up their guns. Like if someone came to their door and said, "We need your guns. We're taking them away," most people wouldn't do that. I guarantee you. All right, on to the next article, and this is somehow even more disturbing. Minnesota State Representative, Antifa and Muslim groups plan to, quote, police Minneapolis under Muslim rule. Now, if anyone knows about the current state of the Middle East, you know two things. That A, the US has seriously messed it up, and B, they don't treat minorities, gays, or women all too well. And as a country that has recently been more accepting of LGBT people, I don't think they'd be too happy to know that an extremely far right religious group is now patrolling the streets with anarchists. Like, how did this happen? The worst part of the far right and the worst part of the far left are now teaming up to patrol the city, the streets.
Maybe now those darn feminists will not to make alliances with enemies that could betray them at a later date.
Yeah, like I've always been extremely confused by the whole intersectional far left and radical Islam. Like, these
Well,
are polar opposites.
reading this one tweet from the guy from one of the tweeting, to the tweet that we're talking about, the statue.
Yeah.
He says, "Time for some citizens to protect it since the government won't do their job." I fully agree with that.
I guarantee, yeah, there's gonna be people that are. I mean, if they did take it down, which they said it was gonna be at 7 o'clock tonight, that was about 3 hours ago for us. I don't know if it came down. I sure hope it's still standing, because that's. I mean,
I hope it is.
it's literally Abraham Lincoln liberating a slave.
Yeah,
That's
this one guy, which first, yeah, stupid.
yeah, like that's
He says, "So white man, you like the image of a white man standing over a black man is just fine with you. Imagine the reverse. That statue would never have been made. Perhaps replacing with Lincoln standing shoulder to shoulder with a black man would be better." I'm just like, what the?
obviously they
Oh my
think
god!
I think
Jesus.
this guy thinks it's like a superiority thing. It's not. That at first glance you may think it is, but I think it's meant to symbolize where African Americans were at the time of the Civil War, how low they were considered in society, and then you have this great man lifting him up as an equal, or at least about to. I think that's where the statue was intended to go. That's where it was supposed to symbolize a great American man lifting a slave up and liberating him. That was the idea of it, not to show superiority. I think this guy has the
Statue.
idea of the statue all wrong.
Speaking of statues, I found a new news article from my own home nation of Germany.
Yeah, sure.
Over in Germany, a city just installed a Vladimir Lenin
Yeah,
statue.
I heard
the
about
statue-
that. That's
The statue is showing the end of slavery. Right?
yeah, but okay, that Vladimir Lenin statue, that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, that's Vladimir Lenin. That's the man that ushered in an era of just destruction for Russia. Like, this man, he's responsible for starting. It wasn't his idea for the whole gulags and everything like that, but he's the one that started the revolution in Russia. He's the one that started the whole Soviet Union. Sure, Stalin did a lot of the bad stuff, but Vladimir Lenin was still no saint. Like, the atrocities committed to the White Army was just borderline like genocidal. Like he's not a good guy. He's not. I mean, he's not on par with Hitler or Stalin or Mussolini, but he's still there. He's still up in the ranks up there. He's still
Do it for our own good.
yeah. He was still an authoritarian, and we shouldn't be
We'll
glorifying those
crush
people.
you, fly.
You still fighting that fly over there, Hans?
Yeah.
Ah.
So it's my computer, so now I can kill it effectively.
Well, that's good. You get that fly. All right. Let's see. As the city of Minneapolis moves to dismantle its police force, worst idea in the world, you're inviting anarchists in. Minnesota State Representative Steve Green on Tuesday stated that virtually everyone has been tiptoeing around and pretending isn't there. Quote, "What you're looking at, in my humble opinion, is communism moving into Minneapolis and St. Paul. And not just communism, but leftist/Islamic alliance." That is terrifying to me.
The social justice for you.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Green asserted,
Ideology.
yeah. Green asserted that Antifa and Muslim organizations plan to police Minneapolis under Muslim rule. I don't understand how those two organizations could possibly work together.
Beautiful system where women are in charge yet also have to wear hijabs and stay in their own ghettos.
Yeah, I never
Did you
understood.
see this? Wait, hold on. This is crazy. I just saw this. So, a Black Lives Matter leader threatens to burn the country down if his demands are not met. What the frick?
This is why I cannot endorse the organization Black Lives Matter. This is the main reason. Like, I understand Yes, the lives of black people do matter. I want to make that very clear because that is something I definitely believe. But the organization called Black Lives Matter is something I cannot, and until they are
Right.
shown to be actually fighting for the lives of all black people, not just the ones that they
Here
see
you
on the
go.
news, I will not endorse them.
Send him a one-way ticket out of the country.
Yeah, it's like you say that if you're that's basically that's what terrorists do basically. They say if you don't give me what I want, we're gonna do this and this. That's you're coming close into the grounds of being a terrorist. And America, we're very good at beating up terrorists. Well, somewhat okay. We need more practice, but we don't need any more practice. A bad choice of words. We don't like them, shall we say? We have a tendency to go after them as well. But domestic terrorists, that they unless they're far right, which if they're far right, we got them clapped and everything. We got them taken care of. But if they're left wing terrorists, we just let it slide for some reason.
Yeah,
God
Black
bless
Lives
this country.
Matter. We're going to talk about the new Discord rules.
Yes, we'll get to that. Actually, we'll do that next. Yeah, the Minneapolis City Council voted 2 weeks ago to abolish the city's police force. Its plans beyond have not been so having a stroke. Its plans beyond that have so far been sketchy, but something is going to have to be put in place as an alternative for the police. Yeah, I think the entire state of Minnesota may be screwed. But next up, we're going to talk to something that affects us rather closely. And chances are, if you are on Discord, in my Discord server, you have already heard about it, but we're going to cover it here for those who are not. Discord has come out with being a bunch of social justice warriors, basically. Okay, let me read the article here. All of us at Discord were horrified by blah 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 blah. Their racism bad, basically what this response boils down to. Racism is not only something you consciously do, it is something you consciously do. It's not just vicious comments and violent acts. Again, racism is not something you say, it is what you feel and what you genuinely believe. You cannot say anything racist. You can say something that is perceived to be racist or something that if unless you actually believe it, I don't believe it to be racist. Is it awful to say? Yes. But if you just say something out into the world directed at no one, I don't believe it to be racist. I understand you may disagree with me, and I get that. But as far as I can, and I can have my mind changed on this, I'm not saying I can't. But as far as I'm aware right now, as far as I believe, I don't think that simply saying a specific word does not deem you to be a complete and total racist.
Right.
Yeah. It's it's
Luckily
indigenous.
for me,
It's insidious apparently.
Doom
What was that,
control.
Hans?
luckily for me, only black people are oppressed apparently, so I can install gypsies all I want still.
Uh the gypsy question is going to be for another time, and I think just even saying that may have just got my channel banned in many, many, many countries over in Europe. But
Yeah.
Most Europeans think just like me, and they know it.
please get a yeah. Like from what I can tell, a lot of Europeans hate gypsies. I don't know why. There aren't really gypsies over here in America. I think the gypsies
But
that
they
did.
do exist.
I mean, I'm sure
Over
they
in
exist,
America,
but
they
like,
integrated.
yeah, they've all
America, they all
integrated. There's
integrated long ago. Over
yeah,
here, they don't. They do is thieve.
yeah. I'm not gonna comment on that because I don't live in Europe. I don't have firsthand experience, so I'm not even gonna touch that. That's a whole can of worms. I'm not even gonna go into.
I think I don't like them. You should see my father thinks them.
Oh, what's up, Incredible man?
Oh boy, I am not touching that. Let's see. We got Walker Dead
What?
here and Incredible Batman. How's it going, Devin?
Oh,
Watch
yeah.
Doom Patrol season 2. Talk about Disney getting rid of Splash. What? Disney get rid of Splash Mountain? Don't talk about my hero Stalin, as we all know. Devin's a hardline Stalinist. So Change your name to Hardline Stalinist, please. I'd pay you to do that.
Really a simple sentence. We all know that Pol Pot is the best communist.
Yes, Pol Pot, obviously.
In my
Uh,
mind.
According to Discord, racism is baked into our institutions and our way of life, from education to property ownership to voting.
Wow.
What? Okay,
What
everyone can vote. All you have to do is register to vote, which you can do online now, which is something I actually have to do. I gotta register to vote. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
When I get home from work, I'm registering to vote. No,
Wait.
racism is not baked in our education system because from last time I checked, all the colleges are insanely far left, and the public schools in this country, literally in fourth grade, we were taught about racism, what it is, what it means, and how terrible it was. We were taught about how bad the Nazis were, who were incredibly racist. We were taught about slavery in America and how incredibly terrible it was. So don't even give me that bullshit that racism is baked into our education system. It was at one point, but then we integrated our schools. There were no longer black schools or white schools. There were schools. We took care of that problem a long time ago. And yes, there are still lingering elements, but I remember a story that happened at our school where a kid made what many were to believe a racist video, and the dude's life was destroyed because of it. The dude like literally got there was literally like for the next months after this, Johnny, you remember this, where someone made a racist video. Apparently, I don't even know if it was on a school computer or anything.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you remember
Yeah.
that? Remember what happened? I
Yep,
don't know. I'm
yep.
not going to say names or anything, but it
I
happened,
can't.
and the
The name.
school
Oh.
just targeted it left and right. There were announcements every day of how bad racism is. So y'all can fuck off with that racism baked in our education system. Get that out of
Oh,
here. No one
yeah.
believes that anymore. Even moderates are waking up to that. Get out of here.
Jake told me about that video actually.
Yeah, I saw it, and honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was a joke. Like nowadays, I can't tell what's a joke and what's not, but apparently it was like meant to target someone like, and I know the guy that it was targeted at. I don't know him that well, but I know of the guy, and the guy is nothing but he's an amazing guy. He's a great guy. I've talked to him. Nothing but a respectful guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. I'm not talking about the guy that made the video. I'm talking the guy that was targeted, and he's a great guy. Like I have never heard like outside of that video, I never heard anything bad ever talked about him. He was a genuinely good guy.
I
But
never got to see the video. Not really.
yeah, he's in one of my classes actually last year, which is he's a great guy. If we don't create change where we can, that's the big one, we are complicit, no you're not, in perpetuating oh my god, white supremacy and the oppression of black people. Okay,
Only black people are oppressed.
okay, apparently black people, yeah, apparently they're the only ones, according to Discord. But, okay, now, here's my counter to that. I don't have an issue with with countering white supremacy, but if you're going to violate First Amendment rights to do so, I will not support that. I understand as long as Discord, which I assume if they want to be a publisher, I've said this before, the publisher versus platform thing. If you want to be a publisher, then you can do that, and you can let people go on. It doesn't. That's up to you. But if you're going to be a platform, which what Twitter and Facebook and YouTube claim to be, then you will be held to the same standard as any other platform. Does that make sense? So, Discord, if someone says something terrible on one of your servers, as many of us have, then it's not a reflection on Discord. It's a reflection on probably the humor more than likely of the person saying it. If someone says something edgy on Discord, no one's gonna blame Discord for it. Like, does anyone actually think that? Probably not. Well, I mean, some do, but like those people are just a little out there, shall we say? But
over here, it's considered illegal to use a third party to scan for your information.
yeah, like I'm pretty sure it's legal over here too, and I think it needs to be upheld a little more. But no,
At
and
this court, a little bit more strict.
yeah, and they are claiming that they are if they don't censor people, they are perpetuating the oppression of black people. Here's where I have a counter to that. Black people are oppressed, not in America though. I don't believe in America. In some parts of the world, I do believe so. Especially many African nations where it's majority black, where it's not so
Right.
much white versus black, it's tribe versus tribe. Africa and the US are, at least in terms of the people going after each other, it's completely different. Like I know very, very little about the politics of most African countries. But from what I am aware, it's depending on what country you go to, South Africa being a major exception. Once you go into the more Central African nations, it gets less like, I mean, there's always like the disdain of colonialism and imperialism, but it's less about that and more like tribes going after different tribes. Like the same way you saw like before. The best way for an American to think of it is like when Native American tribes would fight each other over land or territory or resources or something like that. Same idea as that, just a different part of the world. And in some
Yeah.
parts of the world where one tribe is basically conquered another one, you do see the oppression of black people. But over here in America, and I will say this only once, maybe a few more times, but right now I'm going to say this, and I mean this. If you can find me a law that directly and openly targets with the intent to discriminate against African Americans or any group of people, I will stand with you to fight that law. If you can find me a law in the United States, anywhere, any state law, local law, any national law, if you can find me a law
Right.
that was signed and issued that stands to this day with the intent to oppress any minority group or even any majority group, any group of people, if it is meant to oppress them or deter them from achieving something, then I will stand with you and fighting it. Please show me a law where it shows that it is suppressing or oppressing African Americans in this country. Please show me the law on where this is. I would love to take a look at it, read it through, and I would stand against you in fighting against that law. And this isn't some empty promise. I will do that. DM me on Twitter, DM me on Discord, talk to me in the YouTube comments. Whatever I'm on, Snapchat, I don't care. Please show me where this is, and I will stand against you. My entire community will stand against you. Johnny's entire community will stand against this and fight this law.
Bet
Still,
your
Hans
ass.
didn't bring me into it.
Hans, you're on a different part of the world, so I don't know how much you can do. But if you're going to stand against it, that'd be wonderful. But I mean,
If it brings me money, even I'll stand against it.
yeah, thought like a true capitalist, Hans. I love it. Libertarian
So
gang rise up.
Let's go liberal gang is what we call it over here.
Well, yeah, liberal and libertarian, they mean different things. So what I've been told is that a libertarian here in America would be a liberal over in Europe. So if I were to go to
Of economics,
if
yes.
I were to go to Germany or the UK or France, I would be considered a liberal. But I wouldn't be like a libtard because that's something completely different. We're not going to go into that right now. But that's something completely different. But yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Raised in a family of multimillionaires, you learn a thing or two about how money works.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you got a lot of money, then I would expect you to know how to use that money.
Kavir brought a good point of a shot.
Yeah, I mean, that must be fun to be that loaded, but I'll probably never know that until I'm retired or anything.
It's only fun when you're not feeling about it, so.
Next story. This is actually if you live in the central U.S., you probably heard about this story, but there is every year there's a sand from the Sahara Desert in Africa blows across the Atlantic Ocean and usually hits the Caribbean. So a lot of the sand you see on the beaches of like
You're like
Jamaica,
that.
Cuba, and those islands out there, that's actually sand from the Sahara Desert in Africa. Something I didn't even know about that until about a week or two ago. But the biggest Sahara dust storm in 50 years is about to hit the U.S. This storm is breathtaking. I had to hold on. We're getting to that in a minute. The massive Sahara dust cloud that causes air quality problems in the Caribbean hit the U.S. for the first time Thursday, according to reports. So it's already made landfall today. This dense dust
Okay.
plumes, which are big enough to be picked up via satellite images, struck the Mississippi Gulf Coast after churning thousands of miles from the African desert, according to Jackson based WJTV. Quote, this is the most significant event in the past 50 years. An environmental health specialist with the University of Puerto Rico, according to the outlet. Yeah, there's actually a good picture of it here. Oh, this is a video, actually. I'm gonna share it, actually. Actually, I'm gonna drop that in my Discord. So if you guys want to go and take a, take a look at that, go right ahead. Wait a second, that's not it. That's the wrong link, my boys. That was to the podcast. Yeah, just delete that there. All right.
Right, I'm back.
All right.
You get some alcohol.
Black people, why not talk about the reals?
All right, I think I got it in there. Yeah, I haven't checked the comments in a minute. If they really care about black people, why not talk about the real systemic racism against them in China? Yes. China, if you don't know, is extreme. What the hell? Oh, that was the. Oh, that was the video there. Okay, I bet. Yeah, China is extremely racist. Like, I actually during the whole coronavirus when it was really bad, there was actually a sign outside of a McDonald's in China that said that they're not allowing black people to come in.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're calling us.
That is real. That happened. That is real, and the fact that more people don't know about it is disgusting. And of course, no one talks about the xenophobia against Asians because of the coronavirus. Yeah, there were a lot of Asian restaurants that were hit hard, or even here in America, because of the whole coronavirus thing. But I personally, I know that Asian restaurants around here aren't going to have coronavirus. That's silly to think that, but unfortunately, there's a lot of silly people in this country. But I know we got a good Chinese restaurant around here. Shout out to China Palace in Midland, Michigan. Great place to eat. I completely recommend it. I love that place. But enough about giving everyone the location of where I live. Let's see. If I can go back to that. Where? All right. Let's see if I can find more about it. But basically,
listen.
Yeah,
listen.
but pretty much.
Even if you do, you got guns, so you wouldn't want to mess with me.
No one's gonna come after me. I guarantee. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna come after me. Is what I'm thinking. But
I'm just saying if they did.
Yeah, well, your location's already been leaked so many times, so I guess they'll find me eventually. I don't know, but pretty much we don't have anything to worry about. In Michigan, we're not going to get hit that hard. It's going to be mostly if you live in Kentucky, Southern Ohio, Tennessee, that area. Then it's maybe the air is going to be a little tough to breathe, but nothing. It's not going to kill you unless you have like asthma or something. You have nothing to worry about. But although I have heard that the sunsets are going to be beautiful if you're in one of those places. So keep your eye on the sky if you are in that dust cloud. But it's going to be a little hazy. But, I mean, it's nothing. No one's going to. Very few people are going to die from it unless they have underlying conditions, such as, like, if you have breathing issues, it'd be something to take into concern, but not, like, panic. Don't panic over this.
All right. You already got to worry about the crony.
Misty, how's it going? Hi, does the podcast ever feature poetry readings? We have never done that, but I'm open to the idea, and I think that's
My
actually quite
beautiful
interesting.
voice.
Yeah, have Hans in his beautiful German accent read poetry. I'm sure that'd be we'd all love to hear that. But yeah, DM me on Twitter, Discord. All links are in the description. Or even on Snapchat if you have it. Go ahead and yeah, go ahead and DM me any poetry you want me to read in the stream, depending on what it is, as long as it's not like anything awful. Depending on how awful it is, actually, because I'll read almost anything on stream. If this were BitChute, I would totally read anything. I don't care what it is on BitChute. That's why I have it. Also, there is this other social media network that I have been hearing a lot of people going to. It's called Parler. I haven't made an account yet, but I plan on doing that sometime in the near future. But I'll be getting more, probably next podcast to talk more about that. But
Made a
yeah,
post in your Discord, Iron. Check it out if you want.
let's see. I did see the Vladimir Lenin statue. I'm gonna take a look at
Not
that.
that one. Or
Not that one.
not that one. In general.
Let's see what we got. Rich people are. Uh, yeah.
Rich people are selfish.
I mean, yeah, and that. I'm not even gonna get into that whole discussion we had on my Discord a few nights ago, but yeah, I think it's best to leave that in the past. But that is kind of funny.
Well, nice people are selfish.
I mean, depending on some can be. I definitely know some that are, but there are a lot of rich people that give so much money to charity and do so much good for their communities and the world around them. So it's tough to knock. I mean, you can't blame all rich people for that.
There are nice people in the comments, though, so I may regard China.
Yeah, I mean, China, they're their own special thing. But there is also another article I want to go over. I don't have the actual article, but I have the headline for it. As far as I'm aware, this is real. Oregon County, a county in Oregon, issues face mask orders that exempt non-white people. Okay, so I understand people wearing masks. They want to prevent the coronavirus. And especially if you have underlying health conditions or you're an older person, I do recommend wearing a mask, as does the CDC. But screw the World Health Organization. They are a Chinese puppet, as far as I'm concerned, so I don't trust them anymore. But from what I'm seeing this year, they're saying that non-white people don't have to wear a mask. Now, that doesn't make any sense. Last time I checked, if you're not white, that doesn't make you immune from the coronavirus. The coronavirus doesn't care. It's a virus. It doesn't care what you look like. If you're a person, if you have organs, which let's be honest, a lot of people do have organs. I have organs. You have organs. We all have guts and
Which
stuff.
costs good money on the black market.
They really are, and I'm considering selling a liver, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't need
Ask
the
me
money.
how I know about the black market.
Yeah, I don't need the money that bad though.
I'm
But but
yes, you do. Come on now. Think logically.
Yeah. But the thing, you really are saying that if I have a darker complexion, or my great 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 grandparents came from a continent outside of Europe, that means I'm immune to the coronavirus. That's not how viruses work. That's not how they work. And this is like, I guarantee you, if you reverse this, you reverse uh, this whole many of these things. If you reverse it, reverse the races involved in it, I guarantee you, this is like Jim Crow kind of stuff. Like, I understand, like, equality, and I'm all for equality, but this is taking it to the extreme other end. This is no longer equality. This is like reverse Jim Crow. I thought we were trying to make ourselves more equal, not favor one race over another. That's the issue. Devin did say something about Splash Mountain, and I just saw an article here. Disney will replace Splash Mountain with a reimagined Princess and the Frog attraction. Now, if you don't know, Princess and the Frog, that was one of the first Black Disney princesses. I remember when this came out; it was a big deal for many in the African American community. I mean, so why would we want to get rid of it? The company said Thursday that Splash Mountain at both Disneyland and Walt Disney Resorts will be rethemed to reflect the story of the Princess and the Frog. The movie came up after fans urged Disney to retheme Splash Mountain due to the problematic 1946 film Song of the South, which the Disney film is based upon.
Ooh, my
I
favorite Disney movie.
God damn it, Hans. Are you trying to get my channel taken down?
Yes.
I know you're based and all, but bruh, come on. But I mean, okay, so if you don't know the Song of the South, that is a very old Disney film that was quite racist. Let's just say by today's standard, it would not fly. But again, we cannot censor our history. We can't like just ignore that the film The Song of the South happened. And I haven't seen it. I'd like to see it just for the to know what it is about, what the story's about.
Seen it.
I have not seen it. I do want to watch it simply to figure out what it's like and just how terrible it is. But I don't think we should be censoring it. We can't. I mean, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that the Princess and the Frog was based on this. I actually had no idea. But still, whether I understand why, but I mean, the Princess and the Frog was a big deal, and it still is a big deal. She was the first. Hans, you're gonna get my channel taken down. You know that, right?
Please, it's not a racist song. Everyone loves it.
I'm not. Nowadays, Hans, I don't know what's racist and what's not. Saying apparently milk's racist for some reason. Apparently, that's actually
Of
awesome.
course milk's racist. Anything that comes out of a cow is racist.
Yeah, cows are racist.
Wait, what
I'm
do you
calling it
attack
right here
it
now.
all.
Cows are racist. I want to boycott on all beef and all cow-made materials because we all know cows are working with the white supremacists to get rid of people of color. We all know this because the cows are white supremacists. We all know this. They're coming. The cows are coming.
Peppa Pig promotes Israel. Must be cancelled.
Okay, even saying the name of that country is probably going to get me targeted for something. I don't know. I love how.
Seriously, my cousin hates Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I understand, like, it's annoying and all, but, like, I don't understand her deep hatred of it.
She exaggerates, but she does have her reasons for disliking the show compared to other kids shows.
Yeah. We could probably talk about that outside of the stream, actually. I want to
Being
hear about it.
simplistic and such.
Yeah, we'll talk about that outside of the stream because I don't think she'd want us talking about that on camera.
And she wouldn't care. No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
That's my rule.
Corona Carpe Diem. Struck dumb and still by the breather of bitter
It's
anguish.
ASMR right now.
Yes. By which I remember. I'm gonna read that when I can read. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna read that when I can read. I think that's a good thing to do. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, who is Misty anyway? Someone you guys know?
I have no idea. I've never seen them up until like a minute ago. But the poem's called Corona. I don't know who this is. I mean, Corona, welcome to the channel. I've never seen it though, so welcome. All right. Let's see. Do I have another article? Oh yeah, back to the Discord thing. We kind of got sidetracked there. Okay, we have a responsibility to ensure that Discord is not used for hate, violence, or harm. Okay, hate, that's very subjective. What I consider hateful, you may not. What I consider offensive, you may not. It depends on who you are. Violence, I don't think anyone's promoting. If people that are promoting violence on Discord are getting taken down, and no one has an issue with that, or harm. The last
Oh.
two go against the Second Amendment or the First Amendment, excuse me. So yeah, I understand taking it down. Our goal is that Discord is used to build meaningful relationships and strong, affirming communities. What do you mean by affirming communities? I don't know. Today, on the day that commemorates the effective end of slavery in the United States, we want to share the concrete actions we're taking to achieve this goal. What are you trying to achieve? Ending slavery in the United States? Fact check.
I find it funny.
Yeah, what do you find funny?
They're trying to fight racism, yet sites like Metapedia exist.
Sites like what now?
Metapedia.
Wikipedia or something else? Or
Metapedia.
I've never heard of this website. What it's about? What exactly is
It's
it about?
Wikipedia, but the people in charge of it are actually neo-Nazis.
Oh, that's lovely.
If you ever want to see a neo-Nazi worldview, then go there. Just don't look up things on the Holocaust or World War II if you want sanity.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I've actually
the real
never heard of
history.
that. I may have to check that out just to see how.
I'll post a link.
Not in my Discord, please. I don't want to get shut down because of that. Post it in your own Discord. I'm gonna. Okay, I don't know. Post it somewhere where they won't kill me for it. All right. Let's see. Back to this. We created a company task force fund focused on identifying and implementing actions that we will take from a product policy and people perspective to make Discord more diverse. What? Wow. Okay. Diverse in how? Because diverse can mean many things. Are you talking about diversity of opinion, diversity of gender, diversity of sexuality, or the diversity you like of skin color, which is something you cannot help and something that I don't see as a major issue because why would you need to force diversity? If it happens, it happens. But I mean,
Look at the description right now. It's poetry.
oh my God, Hans, are you on that website again?
It's not politically incorrect. I could probably read it.
Sure, go ahead.
Metapedia is an electronic encyclopedia which focuses on culture, art, science, philosophy, and politics. Its main goal is to serve as an alternative account for Wikipedia, which debunks Marxist academic sources with true history.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what it's about, but it's good that there's an alternative out there. I may not agree with it. I don't know what it's about. From what you told me, I probably won't.
So, it is a website that stoutly defends the European heritage against those who would besmirch it. Sounds nice, but the people who actually run it are actual neo-Nazis. It's just propaganda.
Yeah, I think it's... I'm going to have to take a look at it and really see how based it is, because I got a feeling this is going to be like... This is why I suggest people taking one red pill and not the whole bottle.
It's super based.
This is going to... We're hitting based levels that shouldn't even be possible right now.
I think that's crazy. Apparently some people didn't think it was right-wing enough, so they left and created their own new, even more extreme wiki called Rightpedia.
Oh, this is going to be lovely. I'm going down the rabbit hole tonight.
That one got taken down by someone, but Metapedia is still around.
So someone thought that the based people weren't based enough.
Exactly.
Oh, this is getting spicy. I like it.
When Rightpedia was around, its icon was a little swastika, unlike Metapedia, which is just a statue.
A what statue?
Greek statue, like European culture, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see how much I agree with this, because I from what you're saying, I'm gonna have an issue with it, but like, I don't know.
American counterpart is also Conservapedia.
I've done videos on Conservapedia. That place is Boomerville. Like, it is so boomerish. Like, it's so.
Conservapedia were run by our American Bible-thumping grandpas, and Metapedia is run by that edgy alt-right kid on pole.
Yeah, you're basically right. It's Conservapedia is a It's such a boomerville. It's crazy, but
American-centric. Wikipedia is more Eurocentric, though.
yeah, from what I'm seeing. All right, we got some time. Back to the whole Discord thing. They will focus on three main areas of action. How can we combat hate on Discord? Unless someone's being like targeted in a Discord server, but then you can always just leave. How we can use our research. I'm having a stroke here. How we can use our reach and scale to promote justice. Why is it your job to promote justice? No one. And how do you define justice? How can we act as an employer to train, hire, and retain underrepresented people? Defined underrepresented. Does that just mean people that you want, who you feel are underrepresented? And that's the thing. Discord is an international company. Like they have people from all parts of the world. What do you define as underrepresented in, like, take for example, Polish people are underrepresented in, let's say France, for example. They're not underrepresented in Poland. So how you gonna have the same standard for someone in France as in or in Poland? How is that gonna work exactly? So I don't understand how they're gonna do that.
Man, make
Yeah,
these conservative videos into a playlist. I'm looking now.
they're older videos, but they're boomers. Fuck.
Make them into a playlist so easily.
I may have to do that to be honest. Actually, should I make more of those? Because those are I had
Yeah.
fun making those. I think I might make some more in the future.
Some for Metapedia if you're risking it.
That's BitChute. I'm gonna do that on my BitChute channel. That's why I have BitChute so that I can make videos like that over there and not be immediately destroyed. So that's what I have it
Oh,
for.
they're not this high.
Oh, but we're not. How's it going?
Oh wait, never mind. The text is like 4 hours old. Never mind. Never mind. Screw you guys.
That's okay. I'm sure she's busy. All right. Let's head back to
Archie Jr. and Edward are a bit of a handful.
I get it.
Archie Jr.
All right.
16 now, I think.
Who is?
Archie Jr., her cousin.
Oh, that's lovely. All right, got another article here. St. John's Church has been vandalized with spray paint. Reading BHAZ, Black House Autonomous Zone. They are spreading. They are continuing to spread. I don't know what they're doing, but this is getting a little ridiculous, shall we say.
What happened to overlays?
That is a very good question. Johnny, still there? I'm gonna take it as a no. He's probably off using the bathroom or something. I don't know, to be honest. I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be back in a minute. But I'm just going through my news part of my Discord, seeing if there's any other good news that I can find in here.
Yeah, I'm not fine.
Yeah.
Very well.
Oh,
Live.
no. Ladies and gentlemen, they are back at it again. Once again, the Falkland Islands threat. Argentine president will not ask permission from UK. Ladies and gentlemen, the Argentines are back at it again. Everyone's favorite Nazi colony is back trying to beat the UK again in the Falklands. And we all know where this is going to end. If you don't know, Johnny, in 1982, the right-wing authoritarian government of Argentina was basically in turmoil. Everything was falling apart. So instead of trying to fix the domestic issues, they did what every good leader does and tries to invade a couple islands off their coastline. But these islands were owned by the United Kingdom, and they invaded it. Many countries told them not to try to take it back. Even America said, "Let's not do it." But the Brits said, "No, we're going to go take back our islands," which they rightfully said. and then the UK and then America just said, "Okay, have fun." And fortunately, we had Reagan in office at the time, so he was good. But in 1982, Margaret Thatcher sent down a bunch of ships, and they were able to successfully retake the island from the Argentines. And
No,
quickly after, the Argentine country, their administration fell apart. But and there was a vote. I don't know when, but not too long ago, where there was a vote for the Falkland Islands to become part of Argentina, and the vote overwhelmingly was against it and for staying with the United Kingdom. So the people of the Falkland Islands want to stay as part of the United Kingdom.
this is oil too.
They have oil out there? Well, I mean, I'm
If they
sure they
found
do.
oil by it, we're never gonna give it.
Oh yeah, no, they're not going to give it up now. Of course not. They weren't going to give it up now.
No,
They're surely not going to give it up now. But looks like Argentina's back at it again, boys, with that failed idea of evading the United Kingdom's couple of rocks out in the ocean. But you know what? That's just the way it is.
In fact, Renat's uncle Archibald Senior fought in the Falklands War.
Really, that's actually quite interesting.
He was a sailor, so he has his own vocabulary.
Interesting.
By that I mean but when he got kids, he had to make up his own substitute. He couldn't get in trouble with his wife.
Yeah, that is fair, honestly.
Also, it's one of the few Margaret Thatcher supporters I actually know.
Yeah, that's actually.
I know a
quite-
funny moment from him. Like, they were crossing a bridge. He said, "Careful, this bridge is dangerous." So we were careful crossing it. As they got to the end, he spat on it and said, "Look, must have been built by a bloody immigrant."
That's quite based. I love it.
He's more of a boomer than like a modern day youthful conservative, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea. You
Veteran.
know, it's the. I mean, I guess boomers
Ma-
across the world are all the same. They all hate those bloody foreigners, as they like to call them. But
Of course, one of his substitute squarewords is Galtieri. Galtieri was the dictator of Argentina when it happened.
yeah, I think that was his name actually. I might be
Oh,
wrong. But
Galtieri. That's a swear word he'd use.
yeah, you got to make that those false swear
Son
words.
of a Galtieri. I was assuming just a free college, but you gotta start a war on me.
Shh. That's actually.
King.
I mean, that is fair though. Okay, I guess the news is kind of done. We kind of wrapped it up. But Hans, you were saying something earlier in the podcast about wanting to become a pilot. What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, I actually was about to fly in a plane for the first time, but then quarantine happened. They said they were gonna reschedule it. I called last week. They said they're still rescheduling it. I'm hoping to do the flights thing before I have to return home because of Brexit or some shit, but I'm hoping to fly soon. I don't know. I passed all the tests.
Well, that's good. How many flight hours do you have right now?
And
How many you say?
none.
Okay. Well, I mean, have you ever have you actually like been in a plane flying it with like an instructor next to you?
No, like I said, my first time would have been back in April, but that
Oh,
was
yeah.
canceled.
Okay, that makes sense. But so what made you want to become a pilot?
She's boredom. I wanted to do something in my life, and flying looked really awesome. So I decided I'd look into it.
You know, it's about as good as an idea as any. Like, honestly, I can't. Honestly, that's actually pretty cool, to be honest. So,
As I went into the medical, so that's
yeah, well,
helping people.
that's that's actually really interesting. I really hope you pursue that because that sounds like a lot of fun. Like being able to travel the world and go everywhere you want and fly your plane around. That actually,
Yeah, that'd be awesome,
like,
man.
are you
Yeah,
looking to like go into like flying like passenger planes, like working for like an airline or something? What's your goal here?
I actually don't know. I just want to learn how to do it. Like how
Okay.
most Americans know how to use guns and such, and don't own them.
Yeah, a lot. Like it's unfortunate to say, but a lot of Americans have guns and just have no idea to use them. That's
These boys that is my brother. He's a doctor now. Started off as a combat medic, serving with the coalition in Afghanistan. Then became a podiatrist, and then
wow.
became
That's actually that's crazy. I mean, I would assume that
goddamn.
if you were a combat medic and were able to treat people like if you had the ability to treat people under fire and were able to do something like that, I would assume that you'd be able to be a pretty decent doctor if you're in a clean
Works in a
hospital.
lab.
Yeah, with all the sanitary things you need and all the equipment and everything, and not to worry about gunfire over your head. I would assume you'd be a pretty good doctor.
I don't know how they do it in America, but over here in Europe, working in a lab is one of the most prestigious positions a doctor can do.
Really. I mean,
Really.
I don't know how
Um,
prestigious it is. Like usually around here, like what people that make the big bucks are like surgeons. Like I got actually one of the Tommy. He's one of my friends on the Discord. Um, but he knows his parents know a guy that's he's like a pediatric surgeon. Basically, what he does is like operates on kids that have like a 50-50 chance of survival, like kids that have a good chance of not making it, but he's like the last chance of saving this kid's life. And it's like he gets paid millions, but like you also have to like deal with the fact that you had the chance to save a kid's life and you couldn't, like, because that's going to happen eventually. I mean, and I understand that's a very necessary and very important job and a very respectable job, but still, I don't think I could ever do anything like that simply because I simply the fact that you have to live with knowing that you like a kid just died like in your arms. Like that's psychologically that's gotta come close to breaking a guy.
brother's also quite the daddy's boy. You know what he got as a wedding gift? My father,
What? What do you get?
Pagani Huayra.
A what?
Pagani Huayra.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a car from Italy. Do you know how much Pagani Huayra costs?
I've never heard of this car, but how much is it?
3 million euro
What?
for a wedding gift.
Your dad bought a guy a 3 million euro car.
Yeah,
I'm
my
gonna look up.
brother, my brother. He's a daddy boy, as I said.
Just, that's hold on. I'm doing the conversions right now.
They're not telling me that Rihan's a that he doesn't pick favorites, but no, he has favorites. He gave my brother a fucking fire. I don't know what he's
Yeah.
gonna get me for my wedding if I ever have one, but nonetheless, it's not gonna be a fucking Pagani Huayra, 3 million euros.
Yeah, that's insane though. Like that's
Only 100 Huayras were ever made out of the factory. Too.
yeah. That's for the dollar conversions here. That's about $3.3 million car.
Ah,
That's a lot of money. Like euro to the dollar is like a dollar is only worth like 12 cents more than a euro. So I mean it's fairly similar, but that's ridiculous. Like
that's the
that a
news.
three. I mean, I understand, giving your kid a car. Like, I mean, I've had two cars and they were both owned by my parents because I had John, my old Malibu, my old like what
Yes, I do.
2003 olive green Malibu. That was I liked that car a lot, but it died like 6 months. But we had that car for we had that thing for years. So I got my mom's new car. I'm not gonna say what type it is because I don't want you guys tracking me. And but it's a nice car. Like it's bigger and it's something that I can actually haul stuff with now. It's not a pickup truck. I'm not one of those guys yet, but it's still a nice car and my friend's dad roasts me all the time on my car game, but I mean, it gets me where I need to go. I know if that guy's listening to the podcast right now, I don't know, but it's a good car. It gets me where I need to go and I like it. But
If you couldn't tell from my comments, my brother is in fact married now.
oh, well, congratulations to your brother. Hopefully,
Well, to a
Wedding
degree,
conversation is gonna be a
your
lot more
car is a
fun
little bit
now.
better than mine. To a degree.
well, my car is a lot newer than yours. Yours is like a 99. Like, your car
See,
is old.
that's how politics used to be in our family. We originally just agreed on pretty much everything, classical liberals. The only thing we disagreed on was me advocating for protectionism. Oh, my brother's married a socialist, so now
What?
Now I can unify my family for once. We can agree on politics. Yay!
Wait, your brother, I'm assuming he's got similar politics to you, maybe a little more left-leaning, but
Apolitical.
oh, that's fair. That's still fine. But your brother married a socialist.
Before that, me and my family disagreed over that one protectionist policy, but now we've got some of completely different economics. It should be
Yeah.
fun.
This is gonna be fun at Thanksgiving. Wait, you guys don't have Thanksgiving over there, do you? No, I don't think you do. No, you guys should. You guys should adopt that. It's fun.
We
I'm,
do
I'm
have
assuming
Christmas
you know
over
what
here.
you know what Thanksgiving is, right? I'm assuming.
But yeah, I'm well aware of American holidays.
Yeah, I mean it's.
One where you ritualistically sacrifice turkeys to the gods who wear belts on their hats.
Yes, that is what we do at Thanksgiving. We also watch. It's a tradition, especially here in Michigan, to watch the Detroit Lions get their ass kicked every single Thanksgiving
Oh
around
yeah,
noon.
Jake told
Around
me about
noon.
that.
Yeah, we always got to watch the Lions get their ass kicked every year by a division rival. Sometimes it's the Vikings or the Packers or the Bears. But either way, every fucking year, it's always someone. It's always the Lions getting screwed. You know what? I'm not gonna rant about this right now. This is what it's about. I'm not here to rant about how bad the Lions are. Yeah, it's kind of great. You're tell him. I
Yeah,
swear to God, stop roasting my car game, man. I like that car.
bitch mobile. I love it.
I call it the mom mobile because it was my mother's car, but she's got a new one now. So
Yeah,
I mean, but
the vehicles.
I like it though. I like my mom mobile. It gets me where I need to go, and I like it.
I got a Toyota Supra. It's nice, but it's not fucking any Huayra.
Well, yeah, it's.
I bought it myself too, unlike the Pagani. I bought it myself.
That's. I mean, yeah, it's always better when you buy it for
It's
yourself.
my own money to buy that.
Actually,
It's my own money.
why don't you drop the picture of that car in the Discord? Because I know Tom was a big car guy, so I think he might enjoy that.
Other vehicular news, I'm sure you've heard about Renat's father's accident.
I heard something about a motorcycle accident. I didn't hear. I heard he's okay, but I
He's
don't.
doing fine.
I don't know the extent of the injuries or if it's anything bad happened, or I don't even know what happened to be honest.
His legs got cracked, but he's fine. One leg.
Okay, well, at least it's not anything
I know.
super vital, I guess.
To the extent of what I've heard, apparently there were some kids or an animal on the road or something, and he swerved to avoid them, and that's how his leg got damaged. I don't exactly know what happened.
Oh,
That's
you know
what
what? That makes
swerved.
sense. The kids on the road or animals on the road. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's better that he has a broken leg than a ran over kid. Like, I mean, unless it depends on if those kids are just terrible kids, but it maybe. But I mean, it's not bad.
I didn't even know he still used a motorcycle. I thought it was there to look good.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've got a friend that I think rides on like a motor scooter or something, but I don't know. But like, I don't think I could ever ride a motorcycle. Those things are I consider those things death traps, but like that's just me.
I
It was
agree.
a day Renat's father was kind of
I
a
agree.
daredevil, but yeah.
That's fair though. So now that I can read, maybe Misty Wisty commented the last few minutes ago. Some poetry. Now I'm gonna try to read
What the
this.
fuck?
We've never done this before on the channel,
Your
but
fly's
apparently,
trying to kill me? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the fly flew in my fucking mouth.
what the fuck? Hans, are you dying?
Hope you enjoyed my choking ASMR.
Hans, I don't know what to say. Get a glass of water or something.
I already have alcohol right next to me. I'll be fine.
That works even better. Oh yeah, that was
The good news
ASMR. Yeah.
is,
Okay,
is
so
the fly is dead.
oh hey, you got him. Just not the way. Just hey, you got a little
Yeah,
bit more
look at my
protein in your
fucking
diet. All right,
throat.
you got a little more protein. Think of it that way. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a poem by someone in the comment section.
I need to
Corona,
wash it up. I'll be right
carpe
back before you
diem,
read that.
struck dumb and still by the breath of bitter anguish, by which thy remembrance his death in childhood lies, the fruit of thy love. Beautiful. Corona, I embrace it. Corona, I tremble. Corona, I wail. Corona, I weep. Corona, I fear. Corona, I surrender, fucking Frenchman. And Corona, I am lost. It's nice. I don't know if it fits the stream the best because this is like a heavily political and heavily edgy stream usually. And I mean, I like it. It's great. I genuinely think that's a wonderful poem. I just don't know if it has. I just don't know if it fits the best for the stream. But I like it. If you want to drop more poetry in here, I'll read it. I don't have an issue with that. But check out the Discord if you like that kind of stuff. We don't have any poetry, but we do have memes, and that's what counts in life.
Drinking soul, Mexican, yeah.
Well, why are you drinking Mexican beer?
I don't know, a friend pulled it out, and I was actually pretty good.
Dude, you're not that far from Ireland. Just get some imported Guinness. Like that's Guinness as far. I'm not a beer drinker or anything, but from what I'm aware, I know of some beers, and I know that Guinness is the good stuff.
I have unmatched moment and it's 4 in the morning. I can't exactly go out and get the good shit.
Oh yeah, it's not America. There's not a liquor store every block and a half. Dang it.
And most of them are closed anyways.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is 4 in the morning, so that makes sense. But that's fair. But we're about an hour and a half in. That's usually how long we like to keep our streams. But this has been an absolute blast. It's been a pleasure having you on, Hans. Is there any chance we can get you on in the future?
Perhaps, sure. You just have to let me know.
Oh, absolutely. We give you at least we try to give you everyone a week in advance. But as of right now, we do not have anyone scheduled for the next week. This is usually the time of the stream where we announce another person onto the stream for next week, but we don't have one. So if you want to go on the podcast next Thursday night over on His Gamers channel, usually a larger audience since he's got a bigger audience. But I've had an idea floating around in my head that I think it might be a good idea. I'm thinking that we start a YouTube channel just for the podcast. I'll talk that out with Johnny off stream, but I'm just an idea floating around, nothing official, simply an idea at the moment. We'll talk about that later. But I think it's a great place to end off the stream here. So before we end here, go of course check out His Gamers channel. He's got a lot of fun stuff. Any content coming up in the near future, Johnny?
I got the Thursday's video, of course, or the Thursday stream that's coming up. That'll be at least an hour long. That would be tonight. And then tomorrow I will. Let's see. Chat live stream is one that I'll do. And starting a new series, kind of a cartoon-ish kind of. But let's just say that's the new SpongeBob game that came out Tuesday.
Yeah, Jake has that game.
And I think maybe continuing the Last of Us Part 2, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe.
All right. Well, that's wonderful.
Freddy's still alive! You stupid fly! I swallowed you!
As Hans continues to battle the infamous fly, of course, go check out my Discord. This is where a lot of the stuff happens. If you want to go and check that out, that's probably the place to DM me, of course. So do that if you would like. If you want to go on the podcast, please tell me over Discord, over Twitter, over Snapchat, over anything I have about the public. Go right ahead and let me know. We're always accepting new people. We're gonna try to get someone on for next week. If we can't, then we'll just be Johnny and I for the next week.
Nolan.
We do want to get Nolan on. I'm gonna have to ask him about that if we can get him on next week. But we'll see what we can do about that. I do want to get Nolan.
Wasn't Nolan in the chat? Nolan in the chat.
I haven't seen him this week. He's probably busy doing stuff, but he has done a Minecraft video with me in the past. But that was he's got a Sabaton. He's got a Joakim Broden Minecraft skin, which I envy him so much, which I love it. I don't know where he got it from, but I genuinely love it. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Check out His Gamers stuff, all his channel. Check out my content, the little that I put out. But thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Next podcast will be on Thursday night between 9 and 9:30. We'll be on IronRaze Gamers channel. Of course, all the times are Eastern Standard Time because that is where we live in Eastern Standard Time area.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
no one will more than likely get the channel taken down, but it won't be my channel next week. So I got you there. So thank you guys for
Bruh.
watching. Subscribe if you're new, and we will see you guys in the next one next Thursday night. Have a